What's going on, guys? Welcome to Only Football, Week 12 edition. I'm Kyle, and that's Rick.
I'm Rick, and that's Kyle.
Yep, that's it. Pretty much what I said, but that's Rick. Uh, this is one of our favorite segments. Is when we predict all the games that Rick is going to be wrong at.
How dare you? How dare you? It is Thanksgiving. I just wanted to say, Kyle, I'm thankful for you, and here you are just talking mad shit to me. How dare you?
I was gonna say I was thankful for you at the end of the episode, but now you ruined it. But I'll just tell the people watching I'm thankful for them.
I'm thankful for some Cayman Jacks. Cayman Jacks sponsor us.
Ooh, is that actually like a little bit of whiskey in there?
What is it? I think it's what is it? No, premium malt beverage, whatever malt is.
Huh. I'm gonna have to try that. All right. So if you live on the West Coast, early morning tomorrow, we're going to go through our Thanksgiving games. We're going to go through all of our games. But we're going to start with a game that in the beginning of the year did not look exciting. Around week 4, probably looked like a ginormous blowout.
Yeah.
But you have the Lions on a 3-game winning streak coming off a big win at New York. And they're hosting the Bills, who they kind of came back to reality at the end in the fourth quarter, but have not been the Bills that we were accustomed to seeing all year. So I'm going to pass to you, and then I'll tell you where I stand. Who do you got?
Sounds good. And this is going to be the first Thanksgiving day or Thanksgiving game of the day. So I'm taking the Bills in this one, and it's actually my game of the week because the Bills, like you said, they're finally kind of coming back to it. Their offense is starting to click a little bit. Josh Allen really isn't making mistakes, and you got to credit the running game, Singletary specifically, after he rushed for a couple touchdowns last week. The Lions came off have won 3 games in a row, if I'm not mistaken, 3 or 4. They've looked a little bit better, and they've actually been able to close out these games as of recently. But the Bills played their last week's game in Detroit. They're not traveling. They don't have to worry about shoveling snow out of their driveways to get to the airport. I'm taking the Bills to win this against the Lions. I think the Lions losing streak in Thanksgiving continues. Yeah, I'm taking the Bills.
All right. Well, I'm going to go with the Bills too. I will mention that the Bills are 10-point favorites on the road, which is pretty high. And that Lions defense has forced 7 turnovers in its last 3 games that they've won. Yeah. So they're getting the ball on defense, but just one time in the last decade had the Lions not been able to cover with a spread of 10 points. The Lions hang around on Turkey Day. They may not get the win, but I don't think that this can be a blowout. I would take the Bills, but by less than 10.
All right. I like it. And I do. The turnovers for the Lions is definitely going to be helpful too. But now that, not really throwing the ball around into traffic too much, that may or may not help them. But let's continue on to our second Thanksgiving game, and that's going to be the Giants at the Cowboys. Do you want to go first on this one, or do you want me to take the lead?
Yeah, I can go first. So I think the Giants and the Cowboys, or is it just the Cowboys in Detroit, play every Thanksgiving, right? Detroit and the Cowboys, and then there's like a random. So this is a game that we've seen, I think, a lot on Thanksgiving. It looks oddly familiar, but I can't remember a time that it's been so much at stake in that game. So the Giants coming off a bad loss, and then the Cowboys coming off their best win of the season. I'm taking the Cowboys. I think that they have some really good momentum right now. I think the running back, Zeke, is getting more healthy. Had 2 touchdowns, Pollard with that Micah Parsons defense. I said the Giants were going to start stumbling, and I guess this is where the stacking loses starts for the Giants.
I have to agree with you. I'm going the Cowboys too, because that win last week was super impressive against the Vikings. And this was after they came off the loss against the Packers, and they just showed out in a huge way. And Tony Pollard is probably the best running back. Don't get me wrong. Ezekiel Elliott scored twice, right? But Tony Pollard is so much more electric than Zeke will ever be again, in my opinion. Like, Tony Pollard is just that good. Dak Prescott, still slinging the ball, still doing what he's doing. He's doing really well. And then Micah Parsons in that defense, he got hurt, but I still think he's going to disrupt the Giants, because I think What team did the Giants lose to last week? I forget who they lost to.
They lost to the Lions.
Okay, they did lose to the Lions. They figured it out. Let's stop Saquon. Let's stop the running game. And if there's any team in the NFC that could do this, it's going to be the NFC East rival Cowboys. They can absolutely like shut it down. And like we said earlier, or on our last episode, make Daniel Jones beat you. He's not going to beat you. If you stop the run, you stop the rushing game, they're going to take it. So I'm going Cowboys.
For sure. And I'm expecting CeeDee Lamb to get back on track against that Giants secondary. Our next game is I wanted to say my upset of the week. It's also kind of, this is my game of the week, but I'm going to be honest with everybody listening. I've never been more torn about a game. I think the Vikings have had a way of just staying in close games and getting wins at the end. I thought they were due for a loss last week, and it happened in a big way, like we said.
Yeah.
And then the Patriots with Ramondre Stevenson and Harris running as well as he did.
Damian Harris, yeah.
Yeah, they know who they are. They're going to play defense and run the football. I think the Vikings will want to get that bad taste out of their mouth. They're going to be at home, but luckily for them, they can afford to drop 2 in a row and still lead the North. I'm going with the Patriots by 1.
Oh, that's a good pick. I'm actually going to go Vikings on this one. And the Vikings at home last week, they didn't really do anything because that's why I picked them against the Cowboys. I thought they were going to be at home, skull this, skull that. I just don't think the Patriots have enough on the offensive side, whether it was rushing. Ramondre Stevenson, yes, very good. And Damian Harris adds that extra little bit of like, oh, now they have 2 running backs. I think the Vikings, and they have a sus defense. I've talked about it before. I think this is going to be more of like a Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins game. And Dalvin Cook probably going to not run all over the defense for the Patriots, but I think does enough to make the passing game for Kirk Cousins open up a little bit more and give them the win. So I'm going with the Vikings on this one. I think this is the first one we actually disagree on. Yep. So we only disagree on one game so far for Thanksgiving. But I'm going Vikings. You got the Patriots. We'll see how it goes, man. Who knows if Kirk Cousins is going to eat turkey, if he's going to wear chains or not, but I'm taking the Vikings in this one.
Totally understandable. My next game on my list is the Denver-Carolina game. I wouldn't be surprised if – is that yours too?
Yep, that's the next one.
All right, just wanted to make sure. So, obviously, we talked about Clint Kubiak taking over, calling the plays for Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson had his best QBR at 99.8 since week 4 with Clint Kubiak. So, even though there's not much to be happy about, that is something to kind of be happy about. Carolina, I know he literally laughs at me. I'm being so serious right now. You know what the actual like thing is right now? They're trying to see how long it'll take for Russell Wilson to have as many touchdown passes as he has bathrooms in his house. So people are totally trolling. They're like, well, he didn't throw any touchdown passes, and Sierra still has 12 bathrooms. So this week, the bathrooms get the nod. But all right, Carolina's got Sam Darnold starting at quarterback. We haven't seen him in a while. Since he was a Jet, I believe. I think he played a little bit in Carolina last year, but see what I mean? It's not even memorable. It was very vanilla. So this game just looks gross.
It does.
Even as a Bronco fan, I'm like, man. And it's like one of those games where if you get the win, you can't even be too happy about it either. But I'm going to go with the Broncos just because they have the defense that they have. And I mean, I can't get myself to pick this Carolina team that is extremely less talented to beat the Broncos. But I will say I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. So,
and that's I'm taking the Panthers in this one, dude. I can't pick the Broncos.
I told myself if you did this, I was gonna leave. This is the biggest insult. They're like the 31.
But dude, like I can't pick the Broncos anymore. I can't. Like you guys failed to score 16 points, or more than 16 points, and that's just because the Carolina defense is good. Like their defense is good. They get to the quarterback, and I talked about it when they played against Atlanta. They're very good on defense. Offense, absolutely. Is Darnold going to be a better option than Baker Mayfield or PJ Walker? On paper, sure, but I mean, is he going to affect the game in a way that it's going to make a huge difference? Probably not.
I
But
don't think so.
Yeah, and the Denver defense, like you said, is so good. It is so good. Top defense. But I just can't do it, man. I can't. I'm taking the Panthers in this one. And I was like, I already wrote down Broncos for you because I'm like, he's gonna take the Broncos. There's no way.
Yeah.
But I gotta take the Panthers in this one because the Broncos have shown me really nothing, man. I hate to say it. I'm not I love you. I love you, but I just can't pick the Broncos in this one.
They haven't shown me much either. But yeah, we will see. Hopefully they don't disappoint me once again. We'll move on to Tampa Bay and Cleveland. Tampa coming off a 2-game win streak. Their last game was against Seattle, which was kind of a important win for them to take. And then they went into the bye week. So the vibes are high in Tampa Bay. Meanwhile, Cleveland on a 2-game losing streak and has been outscored 70-40 in the last 2 games. They also have the 30th ranked defense right now in the NFL. I'm looking for Tom Brady to come off a bye week and exploit a vulnerable defense in Cleveland. Yeah, I'm going Tampa.
Yeah, there's really not too much to say here either because I'm taking the Bucks as well. The Browns are still a week away from Deshaun Watson coming back, so they're still kind of leaning on Jacoby Brissett and the tandem of Hunt and Chubb to get them through this. But they looked, I mean, that first drive, I think in their last game when Jacoby Brissett really gave it, or he threw that touchdown pass to Amari Cooper, I think, right?
The last game?
Yeah, their last game. It was like their first drive too. It looked good, and people were like, "Oh, this is like the Browns are looking a little bit better," and whatever. There's no way this Browns team beats a Bucks team that's coming off a bye, well rested. Tom Brady looks like, okay, I'm determined now to win this NFC South, and I'm determined to get to the playoffs much better than we have been this entire season. So, I'm just taking the Bucks in this one. I don't really think there's much to say.
Yeah, I don't think that there's not a scenario that Cleveland just runs the ball really well with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt and Amari Cooper's involved. Brissett has a good game. I think they got Njoku back at tight end. I mean, they do have the talent on the team to surprise us. I'm picking Tampa because it's the more conservative pick. But
and their defense, the Tampa defense is getting a little bit better too. Like they have started to pick it up as of late too.
Yeah, and we talked about that. We're like, maybe they're just trying to save the players for the end of the season for a playoff run. Maybe we see Fournette now start getting a little more touches and things like that. So we will see. Our next game is probably one I highly doubt we disagree on. We got Baltimore, who is going to go to Florida to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Jaguars, right?
Yeah, the Jaguars.
Absolutely not.
You don't have the Jaguars?
Did I? Oh, so we're not agreeing? Oh my God, this is so embarrassing.
Sorry, you froze for a second.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm taking the Ravens 100%.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson, he's gonna destroy this Jaguars team that has not been good. They're coming off a bye, which usually when you come off a bye, you start, hey, maybe we practice a little bit more plays. Maybe we're gonna look a little bit better. The Jaguars are going to be this second half of the season or this last third of the season, what they've been this entire season. Inconsistent. And the only thing they have going for them right now is Travis Etienne at running back. Hey, maybe he might run for a couple scores. That's really about it. But I don't think they beat Lamar Jackson. Although when you think of the Ravens too, like they've lost some questionable games this year, but I think they're kind of starting to figure it out because of that really terrible game they had last week. Offensive wise, right? So I think the defense is going to pick them up again, but I'm hoping Lamar Jackson picks up the offense and is able to take this win. I'm going Ravens.
Yeah, I put in my notes Travis Etienne as a highlight. They're going to lean on him to run the ball. But Baltimore has the 3rd ranked run defense in the NFL. So I do think that this game isn't going to be a blowout, but I got Baltimore by 3.
I like that.
Yeah, I think Jacksonville has that kind of hang around, especially at home against good teams. specifically against good teams.
Yeah.
They'll get their ass beat by Houston, but then they'll hang around with Baltimore. So
yeah, for some reason, right?
exactly. But our next game is a game I do expect to be a full-on blowout. We got the Houston Texans playing the Miami Dolphins in Miami. Not much to say here that Houston has the worst run defense in the NFL. Miami can run the ball. They also can throw the ball. I mean, they have an elite tight end in Mike Gesicki. He doesn't even get targets because it's either Tyreek Hill or it's Jalen Waddle every time he backs up. So, yeah, I think Miami's going to win this game decisively, and I don't think that there's anyone on this world that can make a case for anything other than that.
And that's what I had. I had the Dolphins too against this Houston team. This Houston team is just looked not like an NFL team at all this year. Dameon Pierce is the only highlight for the Texans. Brandon Cooks was mad that he didn't get traded at the trade deadline from this Houston team. It's just an awful team, and they're probably going to get the first pick in the draft, and that's kind of really all I have to say about Houston. And Dolphins, on the other hand, coming off a bye week too, rolling really before the bye week. Once Tua came back, he ever since that game where they only had scored like 16, 18 points, something like that, they've just increased their scoring output every single week from then on. And I don't think it's going to be I think it's just going to be, business as usual for them when they come into Houston and when they get back home and welcome Houston into Miami. They're just going to destroy them. I've got a feeling they're going to destroy them. Like you said, Tua's too good. Tyreek is too good. Gesicki hopefully finally starts getting some targets because, like you said, he has the makings and like the talent to be one of those guys that he can kind of really rely on outside of Waddle and Tyreek, even though no one can guard Tyreek. So it doesn't really matter. He'll just throw it. Fuck it. Tyreek's down there somewhere, right? So taking the Dolphins in this one. Easy pick.
Yeah, and I think that the game you're referring to is the first game Tua came back, and I think it was on Thursday or Monday
Thursday night football, yeah.
Yeah, much different team since then, and I expect them to just keep hitting their stride. So our next game, I'll let you take this one. This is your Chicago Bears playing the New York Jets, and I'll be really quick. I'll let you have the floor with this one.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson, like we talked about on after that loss, not taking responsibility. That's at least how it was perceived by the fan base of New York when he said he doesn't take responsibility for the offense, really.
Yep.
I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember the exact words, but it was pretty similar. And then he gets benched. So now you have him, what they're calling a reset. And they said, no, he's still our long-term quarterback. That's at least how we view him, but he needs a reset. I mean, you could dress it up however you want. You got benched. And
you got benched, yeah.
Yeah, you got benched. Meanwhile, Chicago may have to roll with a different quarterback that is not, this is a tough one that's not Justin Fields. And I guess the Jets have the better defense. I'm going to pick the Jets with the assumption that Justin Fields is not playing. I want to make that clear. If Justin Fields somehow makes it into this lineup, my pick is Chicago.
Okay. I like that. Yeah. Zach Wilson getting benched after basically what reporter asked him, do you take response? Do you think it's your fault that, you kind of let the defense down? He's like, no, something like that. Like you said, paraphrasing. Gets benched for Mike White, some guy that we haven't heard of in a couple of years. Not even Joe Flacco, by the way, which is kind of crazy. I thought Joe Flacco would be the starter. But yes, Justin Fields.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, that was so weird. Justin Fields is injured his shoulder. I believe he got a ligament tear. The latest news, it was said it was a dislocation at first, but now it's a ligament tear. I don't want Justin Fields to play in this game. I'm not going to lie to you. The Jets defense and their rushing, their front four, the front seven, whatever you want to call it, is good. It is an elite defensive line. And I don't want Justin Fields anywhere near that. I don't want him to get sacked. Because this line is going to give up sacks. I think he's the most sacked quarterback right now in the NFL at like 40 some sacks. I don't want him to get hurt. I don't want him to do a QB design run. I want Trevor Siemian out there in the pocket, getting sacked and throwing the ball in the pocket. I don't need anything to happen to Justin Fields Although, if after this week, next week against the Packers, and then the bye week, if he wants to come back and become more of a pocket passer, develop the passing, I would love that. I'm taking the Bears in this one just because my wife's a troll and she's a Jets fan this year, and I can't take that dub for the Jets. So I'm taking the Bears to win this. And if pretty sure I said it on this episode, or if not BLC, if the Jets win, she gets to pick my fantasy lineup for the next week. So I'm really hoping the Bears win in this one.
That could be a really bad thing.
Yeah, or a really good thing. You know what I mean? Or a really good thing. Hopefully it's the good thing if that happens. But I'm taking the Bears because I cannot give the satisfaction to my wife. I can't root for the Jets against the Bears. Yeah, that's kind of it. So
yeah,
but you said you're taking the Jets unless Justin Fields plays.
Yeah, it was weird because I had the Bears actually checked on my list, and I don't know. I just, as I was talking about, I'm like, dude, if Justin Fields doesn't play, I just don't think the Jets, because they're at home. But dude, yeah, who knows? Because I could see a scenario where Fields doesn't play, and the Bears still win just because Simeon is more, I guess, advanced and had more reps. He knows what it's like to lead.
Yeah.
Then the Jets not going with Joe Flacco, I don't get that either.
It's so weird. It's such a weird move by Saleh. Yeah.
Who is the quarterback now?
It's Mike White.
Mike White, yeah.
Yeah. Never even heard of him.
Yeah, and probably never will.
In a while. Probably never will.
Our next game was a really hard one for me. It's Cincinnati going into Tennessee to take on the Titans. Cincinnati's won 4 of the last 5 games, scoring an average of 36 points a game. That's a lot of points for a Broncos fan. That's unheard of.
It's literally double your output.
Yeah. Tennessee hasn't scored 30 points this season, to put it into perspective.
Wow.
Tennessee's scoring defense is ranked 5th, allowing 18.5 points a game. But the unit's vulnerable through the air with the 30th ranked pass defense. And that's what Cincinnati's going to do. I know they're going into Tennessee. I like Tennessee a lot, but I'm going to take the Bengals on the road to keep that momentum going and that high-scoring offense. And, yeah, I'm going to take them by 3.
I am actually taking the Titans. There's something about the Titans where teams come in and they play differently. They play off. There's something about coming into Tennessee or just playing Tennessee in general where it's just like, wait, we can't get our rhythm together. You saw they went into overtime with the Kansas City, and they beat teams with their run game. I don't know what it is about playing the Titans, but I think this Bengals team is going to struggle against them, and I'm taking the Titans to beat them at home. Although I agree that their secondary sucks in Tennessee. But there's something about playing in Tennessee that makes these teams have an off day. And that's why I'm saying the Titans. I believe in Tannehill and I believe in King Henry. Like they're gonna do what they do, and Tannehill just seems to be a winner year in and year out ever since he began starting games for Tennessee after Mariota went down. So I'm taking the Titans in this one.
Yeah, I can totally see that, and I'd be remiss to not mention that this, for Tennessee fans, is a revenge game. Tennessee was the number 1 seed last year, and Cincinnati came in and knocked them out of the playoffs.
Ooh, so, that's nice.
That is something that I guess if you're going for Tennessee, you have going in your favor. Our next game is the Atlanta Falcons going to Washington, to a Washington team that's won 5 of their last 6 and decided that they are going to stick with Taylor Heinicke as their guy because he wins. And Atlanta and Washington, there's no secret here. Atlanta does not have a passing game. They're going to rely on the running game. Washington does not have a passing game. They're going to rely on the running game. I'm looking for a really run, low-scoring, kind of messy game. And someone's got to win, so I'm going to go with the Commanders. Chase Young's back.
Chase Young is back. And that's why I'm taking the Commanders too, because neither of these teams, like you said, have a passing game, and the running game is going to be like in the spotlight. You're going to have Marcus Mariota maybe do a little bit of more running. Taylor Heinicke is probably going to do a little bit more of his veteran type of moves that he's been doing. Like, oh, now I'm going to run, or I'm going to take a knee and get sacked and then get a first down because of a penalty. But but I think the defense on the Commanders is so much better than Atlanta, like just so much better. And again, with the addition of Chase Young into this Commanders defense, it's going to be a tough go for Atlanta unless Cordero Patterson can return 2 more kickoffs for touchdowns and for over 100 yards again. This is going to be, like you said, a low scoring, gritty game, disgusting game. We're going to look at this and be like, ugh, that was disgusting, right? Like that was a nasty game. Like
9
what
6?
happened? yeah. It's going to be like 11-8. And we're like, what happened there?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still taking the Commanders. And Taylor Heinicke, again, I mentioned last episode, 4-1 as a starter. I think he makes it 5-1 with this win.
Well, that would just be incredible, especially you and I talking about in the offseason how maybe they should have gone with Heinicke. We liked Heinicke. We were high on him. And yeah, it's because he wins and he's having fun and he's loose. Our next game is a team that really needs their quarterback to come back and play loose, or their head coach might get fired. We got the Los Angeles Chargers going into Arizona to play the Cardinals, and I have been watching, and it is Wednesday night, so there is another episode premiering tonight on HBO of Hard Knocks in season. And I've been watching that, and man, that's been really good. It's actually been really hard. You see people like Budda Baker. I think if there's one thing that Hard Knocks in season, I recommend everyone to go watch it, really drives the point home that it is hard to win in the NFL, man. And it doesn't necessarily mean that your heart's not in the right place, that you're not practicing hard. It's just hard to fucking win, man. Like you got other people doing that too. When everyone's a professional and someone's got to lose, unfortunately, the Cardinals have lost a lot of games where you'll see in the episode that they desperately were trying to win. And it's sad to see a team like that lose, because it's easy to accept losses when you had no ceiling going into the season. But when the expectations were high and you found yourself at whatever it was, 2-5, and they're in the meeting like, hey, if we win our next 3 games, we can still see a path back to first place in our division. And they just keep losing and losing. Yeah, man. It's sad. And you see JJ Watt had to have his heart shocked. They had to like shock him to
oh my God.
Yeah, because his heart was out of rhythm. So they shocked him to get it back in sync with his body.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah, and then he became a father, and it's emotional. It's all the emotion. You can watch with your girlfriend or whatever. But anyway, Mike Williams is out. Keenan Allen's back. Give me the Chargers.
Chargers. Yeah, I'm also going with the Chargers 100%. And we talked about Kyler coming back. I don't know if he's going to immediately come back and make that difference. And especially with the Chargers looking as good as they did in a loss, right? But I mean, Herbert still looked good. That offense still looks way better than whatever Arizona is doing. So I'm taking the Chargers too in this one. Kyler's not going to be able to come back and all of a sudden it be a miracle, right? For Arizona. I'm taking the Chargers in this one. It's 100% Chargers. And I think Cliff Kingsbury is going to get fired at the end of the season. I think I said that last week, right? When you asked me, I don't think it's going to be a mid-season firing. I think it's just going to be the end of the year. And
totally.
Yeah, it's just going to be all these losses that just stack up. So taking the Cardinals in this one.
Yeah, and even in that hard.
Or sorry, the Chargers.
I got you. Even in the booth, you can see the GM. He's not happy, but the owner, he actually flies his own plane to their games. He's his own pilot. Really? Yeah, he's got his pilot.
That's so weird.
Yeah, dude, you got to give it a watch. It's awesome. But someone's getting fired. You can totally tell. All right.
Oh yeah.
This was my upset of the week. I had it boxed. The Raiders are going into Seattle to play Seattle. I still haven't bought into the Geno Smith hype train. I understand he's done a lot of good things in QBR, but I think that Devontae Adams, Derek Carr, I don't know. I saw the matchup. Devontae Adams has like gone over 100 yards in almost every game, it seems like. And the Seahawks, I don't know. This just kind of has an upset feeling to it. I think that the Raiders go into Seattle and get the win. It's going to be a close game.
Really? I can respect it because the Raiders, their offense has kind of looked a lot better. Like you said, and Devontae Adams is just an absolute beast. But I'm still taking the Seahawks in this one just because it's hard to play in Seattle. Clearly that's been proven. And I still I think Geno Smith and Kenneth Walker are just exciting to watch. Geno Smith, his resurgence of his career, Kenneth Walker, rookie, and he just showed up this year, right? Plus the 12. The 12s are great. That stadium, again, is hard to play in. I think Josh McDaniels is not gonna surprise a lot of people and start winning games this year. It's gonna be a tough year for Josh McDaniels. But I love Derek Carr. I love Josh Jacobson. I love that entire team. All the guys on that team. It's just they have just bad luck with coaches. Obviously Gruden, right? Last year, and then this year they hired Josh McDaniels. It's just tough to they're just going to be outcoached, I think, by Pete Carroll. So I'm taking the Seahawks in this one.
Yeah, and one point that Colin Cowherd or whatever made is that the Jets, you saw what happened last year. It takes a year sometimes for a new head coach to come in and change all the dysfunction and stuff like that. So that's the same deal Josh McDaniels is going to get. We'll see what he does next year, but I think the Raiders might end on something to be a little happy about, and probably will start at Seattle.
Okay.
But I do think Kenneth Walker is a top 5 as a running back in the NFL. He's going to run the hell out of the football. So I agree with you there. Our next game was a Super Bowl prediction. Not anymore. It was
not anymore.
Looked good on the schedule when it got released, though.
Yeah.
We got the Los Angeles Rams going into Kansas City. I'm done with the Rams. I mean, I'm done giving them chances. I would have never picked them anyway, but I'm going to go with Kansas City. And obviously Mahomes will throw for 450 yards and 4 touchdown passes. And that's just a Sunday for him.
I have to agree. Mahomes is going to light it up against the Rams, especially at home. I said in the last episode, if you don't have Mahomes as your MVP, you're wrong. And obviously you made your case for Jalen Hurts, but he's just going to continuously throw for 300 plus, 400 in this game probably, and like 3-4 touchdowns. Like it's not going to be a game by the third quarter. I think they actually take Mahomes and a lot of the starters out towards the end of the third in this game because it's going to be that bad. We've seen crazier things happen this NFL season, but it's tough to bet against the Chiefs ever.
Especially right now.
Especially right now, unless it was that Super Bowl that I got absolutely destroyed in. But I'm taking the Chiefs. There's really no question they're going to destroy the Rams. The Rams, I think, are still going with Wolford as their quarterback, and their offense just isn't going to – I mean, they just released Darrell Henderson, giving Cam Akers more carries, but Cam Akers has been trash all year. So there's really there's nothing to look forward to in this Rams season other than no, there's nothing. I can't even think of anything. There's nothing.
You tried.
I tried.
You literally tried.
I ran through every single thing I could in my head, and I was like, Sean McVay? No, not even that.
Cam Akers is a very, very, very good running back, but they have no offensive line. So no one will get to see that until you get a line. But our next game is, dude, when I saw this, it's New Orleans at San Francisco. I felt like I saw this game already this season for some reason, but I hadn't. I don't know why. So I'm going with San Francisco. They are playing really good football right now. They look like a sneaky Super Bowl contender. Great run defense. Not expecting a big day from Alvin Kamara. I think that CMC and having the weapon, I'm drawing a blank right now. Who's their wide receiver that runs the ball?
Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, Deebo. That's a game changer because you can't double both of them at the same time. Really, CMC by the end of the season might look like the greatest coaching decision of Kyle Shanahan's career. So I'm going to go with the San Francisco 49ers to keep rolling. I like what Andy Dalton's doing in New Orleans, but I think San Francisco's rolling right now.
Yeah, same here. Jimmy G threw 3 or 4 touchdowns in Mexico City against the Cardinals on Monday Night Football. All the weapons they have, their defense is actually really good. Top 3 or top 4, I think, right now in the league. Going against a Saints team that is kind of barely making it with Andy Dalton. You saw Jameis Winston was like, it hurts my soul that I'm not starting. The rule was always, you can't lose your job to injury. And here I am losing my job to injury. I feel like everywhere Andy Dalton goes as a backup, there's always drama in the quarterback room. With the Bears last year. Yeah, poor guy. He's like, I just want to play football too, man. But man, Jimmy G looked good on Monday Night Football. I don't think he's going to continue to have 3-4 touchdown games, but it's hard to bet against the 49ers. Like you said, they are becoming, like you said, a sneaky team to kind of root for. They're like, oh man, are they going to be winners throughout the playoffs again? Are they going to make the Super Bowl now? They're not the favorites by any means, but they look really good. So I'm taking the 49ers in this one. I think it's kind of an easy pick at home. I said I wasn't going to pick against the Saints ever again, but in this one's just too easy. It's too hard not to pick the 49ers in this game. So, yep, going 49ers.
Yeah, you don't want to do it just to do it,
Exactly. I can't do it anymore.
That's how I felt about this game. I haven't gotten myself fully used to the Packers not being the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
So when I see a game where the Packers have an opportunity to dethrone the best in the NFC, and not just that, if the Packers lose this game, they're legitimately out of the playoff. So I'm not saying that they have a great chance, but there will be eliminated, and I think Aaron Rodgers might have one of his best games against Philly, but it's just hard for me to pick the Eagles. So if I will say I would pick the Packers against the spread. I think they lose by less than 7, but I have to go with the Eagles to get the job done at home.
Yeah.
It's Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. Do you feel the same way a little bit? Like back against the wall, you have to win. Aaron Rodgers could sneak a win. Well, they just kind of fucked around with the Colts, and that was like, that's what really got me my wheels spinning about this game.
I can 100% see that. I can 100% see Aaron Rodgers going like, okay, this is really it. We either have to do something to stay in the hunt, or we really just fall flat on our ass, right? Like they are out of the playoffs if they lose.
Right.
I can see them being very competitive, especially after the Eagles had a really boring, tough game against the Colts, like you said, last week. Like they barely won. But I think those are the types of games, right, where Jalen Hurts showed I can march down the field and win these games. I think he knows what he's going into here against the Packers. And I think he realizes after last week against the Colts, I can't mess around. I can't throw picks. I can't be fumbling. I can't, our offense has to be that well-oiled machine we were in the first half of the year. I'm taking the Eagles to win this, but like you said, it's going to be a tough game for them to win. But I think Jalen Hurts has enough, and I don't think they leave Aaron Rodgers with enough time at the end of the game to try to get that win. I think they win by a field goal too. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have loved to see this one on Sunday Night Football, to be completely honest.
It is Sunday Night Football.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Oh, is it not? Or did they change it? Did they change it? Did they flex it?
No. I just didn't write down times next to my games.
Okay.
I'm going off of piece of paper.
Yeah. No, this is definitely Sunday night.
Good. All right, do me a favor. Do you have your pen out? Go ahead and write Green Bay for my pick.
No, are you going Green Bay?
I'm going with the Packers.
Oh, he's changing it mid pick.
Sunday Night Football. Going Packers. The lights are on. I hope Meek Mill doesn't show up with the first lady doing the Fly Eagles Fly. And I just watched the Mark Wahlberg Invincible last night. So yeah,
that should tell you the Eagles are going to win this game. That should tell you that.
You would think, right? But yeah. All right, we'll move on. All right. This is that same Colts team we were just talking about. And that Colts team went in to Las Vegas and beat the Raiders, and we all chalked it up to whatever. Mm-hmm. And then they played an outstanding game against the Eagles and didn't get the win at the very end. Pittsburgh, Indy, I'm going to go with the Colts.
Really? You're going with the Colts?
I know you're a big Pittsburgh guy. I know you're a big Pittsburgh guy.
I've been a big Pittsburgh guy. They're going to win the AFC North and go to the playoffs. What are you talking about? Yep. I have the Steelers on this on Monday Night Football.
Really?
Yeah, they played the Eagles tough. Don't get me wrong. And they had that win, in Jeff Saturday's first game as a head coach. But I think they get beat by Tomlin and what's starting to look like a very fluid offense with Kenny Pickett. He's starting to look a little bit better. He had a really good game against the Bengals. It's starting to look a little bit better. They got rid of Claypool, but I mean, it just opened up George Pickens and Deontay Smith Johnson.
Deontay Johnson.
Deontay Johnson, right?
No,
For more targets.
Devontae Smith.
No, Deontay.
I'm thinking of the Eagles still. Sorry.
Yeah, we don't do names here. We don't do names here. Yeah, so Deontay, like it's just going to open up them a little bit more. TJ Watt had a really good game against the Bengals. I think he's going to continue it against a really weak Colts offense. I got the Steelers winning this one. I don't know if it's going to be close either. I think the Steelers put up a good amount of points, and maybe the Colts in the fourth quarter in garbage time, Matt Ryan and Jonathan Taylor put up a couple more touchdowns and maybe make it look like a competitive score. But I think overall, the Steelers take the win here against the Colts.
Well, I last thing I'll say, I don't think that this is going to be a high scoring game, even though that we're seeing good thing out of Kenny Pickett.
Mm-hmm.
But Pittsburgh's the 7th run defense in the NFL. And the Colts, I watched that game last week. I'm telling you, the philosophy is going to be to line up and pound them, just pound them.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be a low scoring game, but this game is pretty exciting because it's really, I wonder, it's probably like a 50-50 game. You made a great case for Pittsburgh, but I do think Indianapolis is going to try to run the football against a really good run defense. And we'll see who's the bigger, stronger team.
Definitely for sure. Well, that was our week 12 predictions. If you guys are joining us live, let us know in the comments what you think. There were a couple comments on the Facebook that we aren't able to see for some reason. I think our boy Johnny Parlays, I like to call him, was in the comments talking about what's up, fellas, what's up, man. He thinks it's Tua time again this week.
Yeah, definitely.
And he's got Miami covering that game, and he's saying Fields ain't no bitch. He's gonna come back stronger, I guess. I don't want him to play. John. I'm sorry. I don't want him to play. But yeah, for some reason I couldn't see the comments, John. So sorry about that. But hit us up on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Twitch in the comments. Let us know what you think. Let's move on to our one of our favorite segments, I think, really, right? So let me play the music real quick.
Top 5, no debating. Top 5.
Top five. We're bringing you our top 5 teams in a crazy NFL season. And Kyle, do you? Let's just do what we've been doing. We'll start off from number 5 and move on up, and then I'll kind of keep them in check as well. They've changed a little bit for me. I don't know. Have they changed a lot for you at all?
Yeah, they have.
Okay.
And it's difficult because it's back to that question where are we picking who we think is going to win the Super Bowl, or are we picking now who's the toughest team right now?
Right now, top 5 teams today.
Okay. All right.
Is that how you went about your list?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, let's start off number 5. I'll go first. Even though they had a bye week, I'm going with the Dolphins at number 5.
All right. I swear I'm not making this up. I got the Dolphins at number 5 as well.
No, nice. There we go. We haven't changed. I think
we've never agreed on 5. We haven't.
No. We have. I think last week we agreed on 5 as well, didn't we?
I don't think so.
Yeah. No, we did. I got him here.
We disagreed towards the top. That's what happened.
Yeah, that's when it starts to get a little dicey. Okay, so number 4, I've got the Cowboys at number 4. Right.
Wow.
Right now, who do you got?
I got the Eagles.
Oh, really? That low, huh?
That high, I guess, or low, depending on which way you're looking at the list. But I mean, look, they come off a bad loss and then they kind of dick around with the Colts. Like, meanwhile, I'm gonna go with the teams that are blowing good teams out of the water. So
true.
That's my hint at my next team.
Oh, that's a good one. I'm trying to predict who it was, but all right, I'll go with my number 3. My number 3 is going to be the Bills. I think I had them last week at number 4, so they moved up in my rankings to number 3. Kyle, who do you have at number 3?
At number 3, I have the Cowboys.
Oh, okay. I don't think you had them on at all on your last on the.
I didn't, but they were on the fringe. They were at 6, and I had the Vikings at 5.
Okay.
And then they blew out the Vikings, and they got to go all the way up to 3.
Gotcha. I like it. So, we got teams moving up on our top five here. And a team that moved up for me, our number 2, is the Eagles. So I've got the Eagles at number 2. You obviously had them at number 4 for their win. You know, they won against the Colts, right? But it didn't look at all convincing, and I get it, but I still have the Eagles as the number 1 team in the NFC right now. So I'm putting them at number 2. Kyle, who you got at number 2?
That's fair. Number 2, I got Bills.
Bills. Okay. Yeah. 2 and 3. I like that. Number 1 for me, the Chiefs. The Chiefs and Pat Mahomes. Okay, so we both agree on number 1. We both got the Chiefs at number 1.
I changed it
up. No, I kept them at number 1 last week. You had them at number 3, so they moved up 2 spots for you.
Yeah, I changed it a little bit because, like you said, right now, and the Bills just haven't been playing their best. But like, look, Buffalo already played Kansas City and they won, and they went on the road. I think if this happens in the playoffs, Buffalo will win. That's why it's hard. But right now, specifically, Kansas City's playing better football right now.
They are. And we talked about Pat Mahomes and what he's been doing this year. He just looks so much better. It's not even really a question as to, like, will he kind of be worse off? I don't think so. This year he's just been so consistent as he's been his entire career, and they've shown it as of late. They blew out. I forget who they just blew out or who they just beat, but they've just been dominating teams as of late in these last couple weeks. So it's easy to put the Chiefs at number 1. I think it's easy for the NFL. Number 1 AFC team right now. But like you said, if it goes to the playoffs, once it goes to the playoffs, I think the Bills might have the edge. I think they might have that momentum, that entire, like, the whole city of Buffalo behind them.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? They're not going to repeat that game of last year. So we'll
jumping on tables in the parking lot, shirtless in the snow.
That's right. Let us know what you guys think about our top five. Just to go over it again. Number 5 for me, Dolphins, followed by the Cowboys, the Bills, Eagles, and then the Chiefs at number 1. Kyle had Dolphins as well at number 5, followed by the Eagles, Cowboys, Bills, and then Chiefs at number 1. All right. Do you have anything else for top five, Kyle?
No, I will say, though, keep in mind that Dak Prescott was out for a while, and the fort was held down pretty nice, but they did have one loss that did not belong to Prescott. And if the Eagles lose to the Packers, the Eagles and Cowboys will have the same record. And then when they play head on head, we'll figure out who's better. So,
all right. Well, that's going to be exciting, and I can't wait for the playoffs, really.
Yeah.
Let's move on to our next segment called Blessed, Text, and Stressed. let me explain it to the people here real quick. Blessed, Text, and Stressed. So it's Thanksgiving, right? It's Thanksgiving's tomorrow. Basically, what we're saying is we're going to give out a name, and then we're going to give an additional 3 names, whether it be a coach, a player, a GM, anybody involved with this certain team. And we're going to say, who are you blessed to have at your table for Thanksgiving? Who are you sending a quick happy Thanksgiving text, but no invite? And then who stresses you out that you're not doing either? So we have to pick one. And I'll go first because I think I got a couple good ones for you, Kyle. Let me just pull up my list. Okay. So you are Dan Campbell.
I'm Dan Campbell.
Say it for the people. I'm Dan Campbell. Get that junk off your jeans. All right. Who are you blessed to have with you? Who are you sending a text to, and who are you stressed for? Jared Goff, the Lions defense as a whole, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's a tough one.
I'm going to text the entire defense because I can just put it in a group chat.
Yeah.
And it's gone. And then I'm going to you
put yourself in a corner here. Because now are you blessed to have Jared Goff or Amon-Ra St. Brown? And then who are you stressed to have?
Have you ever seen a picture of Jared Goff's wife?
I have. She's hot.
Yeah. Or in other words, I'm blessed. And I'm on saying, I look, I'm sorry, but hey, this is his brother playing for another team. They're probably linking up or something. Let's stay positive. Let's stay positive.
Equanimous is on the Bears right now. They're definitely having their own Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
You're
they're
right.
close enough to just, take a car ride. I think I handled that perfectly. All right, it's your turn.
All right.
You are Bill Belichick. All right. You got get a scissors and cut your sleeves.
Hold on. Let me go get my sleeveless sweater.
You got Bailey Zappi,
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady, and Mac Jones.
Oh my God. So obviously I'm blessed to have Tom Brady. There's no doubt about that one.
He's coming over.
Tom Brady's definitely coming over, especially with how they gush about each other. Whenever they played each other, I forget when they played each other or not played each other, but they were talking about each other in a press conference.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick loves Tom Brady. I'm 100% blessed to have him over.
They play footsie when they're under the same table
all the time. That's why he got divorced. They're gonna marry each other later.
Lucky.
I'm texting Mac Jones, and he got me. If I'm Bill Belichick, I'm texting Mac Jones because he got me to the playoffs last year, and I'm stressed about Bailey Zappi because I'm not inviting him. I'm not texting him. He's not there yet. He is nowhere near there yet. He has played a couple good games, but he also stressed me out a lot during that stretch of games that he played in. So I'm stressed out about Bailey Zappi.
You know the college tradition, when you score your first touchdown, you give the ball to the ref. Did you see the wide receiver for the Patriots? He scored his first touchdown. He went over to hand it to Bill Belichick.
Yeah. He's like, get away from me.
He's like, he was just more confused than anything.
He was. One of the other coaches or assistants was like, let's get you out of here.
Yeah. So, all right. That was a pretty good one. But
I got one more for you. You ready?
Yeah.
You are Jerry Jones. Blessed, text, stressed. Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, Micah Parsons. Ooh, look at that. Look at that.
All right.
I don't know what to think.
All right. Dak gets a text.
Wow.
Dak is going to get a text message.
Okay.
I'm going to break some bread with Micah Parsons.
That one, yeah, that's easy. I think that's kind of easy. I like the way you went here. Yeah.
Yeah. And Ezekiel Elliott, especially with Tony Pollard stepping up, is stressing me out.
Yeah. I agree. Micah Parsons is a different just human being. The way he plays football and the way he comes in, even after he's hurt, he doesn't care. He is just a different animal, man. He's amazing. Dak Prescott has gotten hurt. He's getting the text. You're right. He's getting the text. And then Ezekiel Elliott is just production has been absolute dog water. So
yeah, and then hopefully Zeke coming into training camp with the big belly. I'm thinking maybe don't feed him a full feast in mid-season.
Hey, we got some tofu turkey for you.
No, your food is in the fridge.
Yeah.
All right, so I got one for you. The last one, okay?
All right.
Put your player hat on, and not your Will Smith player, but NFL player. You are. That was so corny. That was such a dad joke.
You need to leave.
Yeah. I need to redeem myself. All right, you're Josh Allen.
Okay.
Stephon Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
Von Miller.
Mm-hmm.
And your backup quarterback, Case Keenum.
This is a tough one. You saved the best one for last. I don't know, because I have to be blessed for Von Miller. He made that defense just so much better. The defense was already good, but he just upped it a level. And we've talked just at Von Miller up so much. You obviously knew him in Denver. He the Rams won because of him the Super Bowl last year. I'm blessed to have Von Miller from Josh Allen. I'm texting Stephon Diggs because he's probably one of the leading receivers. I think he's top 5 leading receivers this year. And he's always there. He's when Patty Mahomes had Tyreek Hill, that was his boy. That's my boy. If I'm Josh Allen, is Stephon Diggs. So I'm definitely sending him a text. But stressed, I got to go Case Keenum. And there's really no reason to stress out about Case Keenum other than the fact
wait
that
till he
I have
finds
to
out.
pick him.
Wait till he finds out that you're hanging out with Von Miller, dude.
Well, and that's why I'm stressed out because he's gonna find out tomorrow. I'm gonna be like, oh man, he's gonna be real mad that I didn't invite him over.
I think you could make an argument that a quarterback's best friend should be his receiver. I really think you could.
Yeah.
Like,
and
if it,
and I was gonna go the other route with Stephon Diggs and Von Miller. I was
you
gonna
just text
go.
Von.
Yeah, I would text Von because his first year, I've had Stephon for 3 years now. Like, yeah, I would 100% bring him over.
In all reality, Von Miller in his mansion in Denver, he was known in Colorado for throwing the greatest Halloween parties every year.
Yes.
And that was the one year that our backup quarterback got cut because he like walked into a random person's house after leaving Von Miller's party, and they beat the shit out of him with a vacuum cleaner.
That's
He like totally blacked out, and then he got
Who
cut
was
the
it?
next morning. I think his name was like Kyle something. Kyle.
Oh, so it
Allen
was
or
you.
something.
It was you. Got it.
Or
Okay.
was it? I forgot. But he was like promising. I think he came out of Mississippi or something. But yeah, Von Miller throws a mean party. So in all reality, he's probably throwing his own Thanksgiving party.
Yeah.
And they're all going to his house. That dude is so much fun.
He is. All right. Well, I hope you guys like that quick little Thanksgiving oriented segment. Blessed, text, and stress. Let us know in the comments. If there's anyone, if you disagree with any of them, or what your own blessed, text, and stress is. So let's move on to our final segment. Punch my ticket. Real quick, let's play this song.
I want to know who motherfucking representing it here tonight.
So punch my ticket. We're pretty much going to go through 1 through 7 seeds for NFC and AFC. Well, we'll make it a little quick, but I it's just kind of we're already 2/3. Well, we're going to be 2/3 of the season through after week 12, but I think it's about time we start looking at what the playoff picture is looking like. Kyle, which one do you want to go first? Then do you want to do the AFC or the NFC first?
Let's do AFC first because the shocking thing, before we tell them ours, right? Let me just tell you what the current standings are. The Chiefs are at 1, and if you think Buffalo's at 2, you're totally wrong. Buffalo's at 5. So you got the Chiefs at 1, Dolphins 2, Titans 3, Ravens 4, Bills 5, Patriots are in right now as a wild card 6, and the final wild card spot, the Cincinnati Bengals. So you would be hard pressed to go against that, but you could change the order. But I just wanted to throw that out there. That is where it stands right now.
Yep.
And I'm going to say that by the end of the year, you want me to start at number 1?
Yeah, let's go with number 1. Let's start off.
I'm going to say Buffalo is going to get the number 1 seed.
Really?
Yeah, they're 1 game behind the Chiefs. The Chiefs still have to play Denver in Denver, which is always a tough game. And then there's a couple more AFC West matchups. And yeah, I think Buffalo, they might not lose again. So.
Okay.
Well, they have the tiebreaker too. So if they both only have 3 losses, Buffalo would take the spot for the win, the head-on-head win.
Oh man, this is a tough one because you do make a good point for the Bills. I think the Chiefs take it at number 1. I think they take the number 1 seed. I think the Bills are a close number 2 though. It's just you can't root against. It's hard to bet against the Chiefs right now. And we've talked about Pat Mahomes and what they've done. Their defense has actually stepped it up too. Christian Jones on that defensive side of the ball for Kansas City has stepped it up, and I think that's really important.
Yeah,
Bills probably the more complete. They still had those games where you were just like, how do you lose that? Right now, I think they should be 9-1 instead of 7-3. I think they should be 9-1 right now. But Josh Allen has looked kind of bad, and I think that rough stretch is going to continue at least into the last 3-4 weeks when they really have to rev it up. They're going to be in the playoff picture, don't get me wrong, but I don't think they take the number 1. I think they're a close number 2. I've still got the Chiefs at number 1, and obviously, like I just said, number 2, I'm taking the Bills for the number 2 seed.
Okay, I'm taking the Chiefs for my number 2. And real quick, Darrell Henderson just got released. We didn't talk about this, but it would be interesting to see if Buffalo makes a move at Melvin Gordon or Darrell Henderson with their running game not being spectacular.
That's actually a good point. Melvin Gordon with his fumbling issues, there's no way. I don't think
Von Miller would be the guy in that organization to be like, hey man, I believe in Melvin. Like you could bring them in. They have that like brother.
But
relationship.
even then, with the way like Josh Allen has been kind of throwing the ball, being a little risky with it. If you pair that up with a Melvin Gordon who's fumbling at the goal line,
yeah,
that's just a recipe for disaster in the playoffs.
I agree.
If we trust Melvin Gordon to hopefully not fumble the ball at the goal line in a very important playoff game, it's rough. I'd rather Singletary, who is not a big name, who is not someone you're like, yup, let's give him the ball at the goal line. I'd rather him with what he's been doing these last couple of weeks than Melvin Gordon all day. 100%.
Totally. And you got to think there's a 65% chance if they host a playoff game, it's snowing. And if you have a fumbling problem, that's all things you got to consider. So, you got Chiefs number 1, you got Bills number 2. I'm the exact opposite. And then number 3, I have the Miami Dolphins.
Oh, really? Okay. I actually have to agree. I'm going with the Dolphins as well. That's so weird. Oh, never mind. I was looking at the wrong thing. I was like, there's no way they're 1-8. They're probably 8-1, but no, they're 7-3 right now. And number 2 in the playoffs, playoff picture as of now. But yeah, I've got them number 3. Tua and the offense, again, we've talked about it. It's just there's nothing to really say other than they are very, very good offensively. And yeah, I got them at number 3 too.
Well, you look, I'll just say really quick, they do have in the remaining schedule, we got the Texans, but then they got the 49ers. They have to play the Bills after the Chargers. So 49ers, Chargers, Bills, Packers, Patriots, Jets. So I mean, they're going to have to play good football. There's no softballs on that schedule. You could even say the Packers aren't a softball. So,
yeah,
I mean, it's going to be tough, but I think the Dolphins are playing pretty good. So, we on number 3.
Yep.
Who do you got 4? I want you to go first.
Number 4, I think, is a good one. Oh, it's between the Titans and the Ravens. I think I'm going to give it to the Titans, though. I think number 4 is the Titans, and I'm just going to give you my number 5 real quick. It is the Ravens just because I have both of them there. But I'm thinking I'm going 4 for Titans, 5 for Ravens. The Ravens have played some kind of weird games this year, and the Titans have looked a little bit better. They've been very competitive, especially with the likes of the Chiefs. And they're not going to be the number 1 anymore, kind of something they've been used to since last year and the year before that, I believe. But they're going to be my number 4 and then followed by the Ravens just because they've kind of, like I said, they've kind of been meh so far in these last few weeks here. So I'm going number 4 Titans and number 5 Ravens.
All right. I'm going number 4. Okay. So this would replace the Titans because they're playing on Sunday, Bengals. So I do think the Bengals 1 game behind the Ravens. I'm worried about the Ravens not having a passing game. Meanwhile, Joe Burrow is about to get Jamar Chase back. I mean, I'm going to go with Bengals at number 4, and I'm going to go Ravens number 5.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you got the Ravens.
I'm going to go Titans number 5, and the Ravens taking the wild card spot.
Oh, okay, number 6 then. Okay. Wow, that's I like the point that Jamar Chase is coming back, and the fact that they have just failed to get Lamar Jackson a running back, a wide receiver in these last couple of years. You know, it's kind of like, Baltimore, what are we doing? You guys are just kind of trying to get these guys like Hollywood Brown or not Hollywood Brown, oh my God, who was it that they just picked up? They got hurt. I forget who, but like they're trying to get these guys that are like not solid wide receivers to become solid wide receivers. Like you can't do that. You're right.
And
the passing game is sus.
And guess who Cincinnati plays week 18? And this will be for the division. Mark my words. They're playing the Ravens at home. At home. Bengals get that win and take the division completely.
I like that. I mean, either way, right? Like they both make the playoffs, I think, in that scenario. So
I think we predicted that when the season started, when we did our very schedule release picks, we were like, that Ravens Bengals game might be for the division.
It's going to be important. Yeah, it's going to be important. You're right. But I still had the Steelers winning it. Number 6 for me, I think, because I did go 4 and 5, Titans and Ravens. I think I would put the Bengals. I think the Ravens are going to win the division and the Bengals are going to be close seconds. But I mean, 2 AFC North teams, it's going to be a good AFC competition in the playoffs. So I got the Bengals at number 6, and then at number 7, this is kind of where it gets interesting, right? Because you have the Chargers, yeah, they lost, right? But their offense is looking good. You have the Patriots, who are somehow in the playoff race right now, at number 6. You have the Jets, who are going with Mike White, but their defense is actually really good. And then after that, it's like the Colts, the Jaguars. It's like, okay, I mean, it's really between the Chargers, the Jets, and the Patriots. I hope it is the Chargers, just because they really need a break, man. They really need a break here. They have just they never get a break. They need it. I think the Jets, going with Mike White this week against the Bears, if the Bears win, I think this is kind of like, yeah, the Jets were very surprising in the first half, but I think they start falling off. The Chargers leap them. The Patriots, obviously nowhere near as good as the Bills or the Dolphins. They just start to I guess, like, go in the background, just like, we're not good. So I think the Chargers take the number 7 seed.
I got the Broncos taking the 7 seed.
Of course you do.
I got them winning out. Oh, I'm serious.
I know you are.
Oh,
I know you are.
I have them. They got a lot of their games. So they got 2 against the Chiefs still. They still got to play the head-on-head against the Chargers, which they have only 2 more wins than us. Or you could say we have 2 more losses. So that's 1-1. And then we would just need the Chargers to lose 1 more game. But I know it might sound like a homer pick, but
oh no, of course not. What are you talking about?
But this might be the game against the Panthers with a whole week under Clint Kubiak. Mm-hmm. This might be what the team needs if they can go into Carolina and just beat the shit out of them and find a way to win out. And that Chiefs game in Kansas City at the end, they may not even be playing Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. So, I mean, I'm just keeping. They still have to play Baltimore in Baltimore. I'm not sold on Baltimore, being I mean, they don't have anyone to throw the ball to. They don't have a great running game. They're a tough team, but they're not like a powerhouse in my eyes right now.
It's that Baltimore team is literally resting on the shoulders of Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, the one guy that's not paid.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Russell Wilson is taking a bath in money.
Oh God. All right, let's move on to the NFC. I'll start it off first. Number 1, I think, should be easy. And I'm taking the Eagles at 9-1 right now. Obviously, they didn't look good last week, and they took that L against the Commanders the week prior. And they're going up against a feisty Packers team. Who you said under the lights. I think they'll start to perform, but I still have the number 1, taking the number 1 seed in the NFC. Do you agree with the Eagles at number 1? Ooh. He's thinking.
It's tough.
He's thinking
because I don't have their. Next time we do this, we should pull up the rest of the schedule. I know the Eagles have to play the Cowboys again, so if the Cowboys take that, then they're only down by 1 game. So do the Eagles lose more than 1 game and the Cowboys win out? The Cowboys are the first seed. There's a path that the Eagles don't make it. But I'm going to go with the Eagles because I don't have all of their games in front of me right now.
Yeah.
And I obviously 9-1. You're in pretty good shape, but Vikings are 1 game back from you.
8-2. Yeah. And they look bad against the Cowboys. Yeah. They look bad.
I mean, the Vikings are getting in regardless. We all know that. So it's just, are they going to be a 2, or I guess this is a good way to move on. So we got Eagles 1. Who's your number 2?
I am actually going to go with the Cowboys at number 2. They're going to be the top team in the East. And I think they're going to be that good where they're under the Eagles. Or I'm sorry, not the top team in the East, the second best team in the East, behind the Eagles, and I think their record is going to reflect that. So I think they're going to be number 2. Although, is that possible I mean,
my wheels are spinning. I don't think. I think they have to be a wild card by.
Okay, so they have to be no matter what. Okay,
if you don't win your division, you automatically drop to 5.
Okay, so they have to be okay. Damn, that's crazy.
That's why the Bucks right now are considered the 4th seed at 5-5, and the Cowboys are 7-3.
That makes sense. Yeah, that actually
that's what
makes
I thought.
sense.
I was like, no, Okay.
I was like,
I know what
yeah.
you mean. I know what you mean, but
It's not like I've been watching for football for like 20 years.
20
Then my number 2 will be the 49ers. The 49ers with their offensive weapons are gonna be number 2. And then I think followed after the 49ers will be the Vikings, just because I don't think they're gonna fall off hard like a lot of people are thinking. But yeah, and I'm sorry I went to number 3, but I just the 49ers, Vikings, I think they have somewhat similar records, but I think the 49ers have an extra one game on top of the Vikings that makes them the number 2 seed. It's just the Vikings look like they're struggling right now. The 49ers look like they're just so much better with their offense. The Vikings defense is sus, while the 49ers defense is just really good. So I got 49ers number 2, Vikings number 3.
Yeah. I got the Vikings at number 2, and I hate going off the order because it's like, oh, I could have got this on the app, but
yeah.
It's also, I'm not going to disagree for the sake of disagreeing. If you're talking about who's going to finish with a better record, the NFC North winner or the NFC West winner, I'm going to go with the Vikings because I don't see them losing 2 more. Well, they would have to lose 2 more games just to be equal with the Niners.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with the Vikings because you're assuming the Niners win out. And then I'll take the Niners at that number 3 seed. But our number 4 will be probably where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
Because although I think we would both agree in the NFC South, we would have Tom Brady-led team winning. But it is worthy of noting that Atlanta's 1 game behind. 1.
Yeah, just 1. Isn't that insane? They're 5-6, while the Bucs are 5-5.
And the Saints are 2 games. They're, well, I guess technically 3, but because they haven't had a bye week yet, so they're 4-7.
But I can't bet against Brady. I can't. He's just a winner.
I agree.
Yeah, so I don't think there's really much to say. I think they're really starting to figure it out, and the defense is starting to step up for Brady. And I think Brady relied on that defense a lot earlier in the season. And yeah, I'm taking Brady Bucks number 4 in that defense and number 4. I think they're going to start winning. Man. I think they really go. I can't see them losing 3 more games to go 9-8. I think they go 10-6 or 10-7. Sorry, and that's probably the best record that is going to be in that NFC South, and they take the division lead. So they're number 4.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not much to argue about. And then number 5,
that's when I have the Cowboys.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, if the Cowboys don't take number 1, unfortunately, that's where they're going to end up. But
yeah, it's really either 1 or 5 for them. That's kind of it.
Yeah.
But what's interesting too is that the Giants right now are number 6, 3rd in the NFC East, and Washington is right outside of the playoffs right now, number 8 with a 6-5 record. Wouldn't that be insane if like they jumped over, which for some reason, no, they would jump over the Seattle Seahawks and make number 7 as well. Like the entire NFC East would be in the playoffs.
Well, I do have the Giants falling out of the playoffs.
I would too. And that is
the losing
based on their play. Based on their play, and I think I'm going to go with what you said. Losing starts now for them and the Jets. Both New York teams started off really well. Very surprising. But the losing does start now. I mean,
and they're playing the Cowboys with a 7-3 record. They're both tied. This is a huge game.
Yeah. So Cowboys number 5, 6, Seahawks 7.
Wait. So you got Seahawks at 6?
I think I have the Seahawks at 6.
Okay.
Yeah, and then 7 would be the Commanders making it. Oh my God, I think I got the Commanders making it. Yeah.
So for the number 6, I actually I don't have the Seahawks making it.
Really?
Yep. So
they're the Cardinals or what?
I think that, well, no, I don't have the Cardinals. I think the Commanders could jump in, and I have the Packers.
Oh my God, Homer.
No.
Homer.
No. If the Packers win out, they're 10-7. So I have to ask myself, are the Packers and Giants, are the Giants gonna start losing a lot of games? So we knock them out. Okay, then we move the Seahawks up. So you got
Mhm.
the Seahawks in for sure, right? That's what you're saying. But
I'm saying they're in.
they're 6-5 if they lose on Sunday,
Hmm.
and they're not going to win their division over the Niners. I don't
Hmm.
think so.
Hmm.
Even though they're right now tied with the 49ers, I feel
Yeah.
like they're going to start pulling away. So there's no guarantee that they win in based on winning their division. So they would have to have a better record than all these teams that are in the bubble that they only have one more loss than them. So it's not as a guarantee as it looks on paper.
Yeah, I can't see the Packers. I can't see the I think the Lions are actually going to come in second now with the way they've been playing.
You
I think
could
the
make
Lions-
a case. You could make a
Yeah,
case.
I think the Lions will come in second in that division in the NFC North. They won't make the playoffs, but they will definitely sniff the playoffs and be in the hunt, in those graphics, in the hunt graphics, come like week 15 or something like that.
Yeah, and man, wouldn't it be nice to be in the NFC if you're a struggling team to just have that hope,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
You're like 4-7, all we have to do is win out and we're in.
Oh, that's insane. Yeah, I again rounded out number 5 Cowboys, number 6 Seahawks, number 7 Commanders making it. And
What about Bears going 9-8?
oh man, if the Bears could go 9-8, I highly doubt. I want the Bears to win at least 3 more games. 3 more games. If they are 6 and 6-11 at the end of this year.
First round draft pick.
I think right now they're number 3 based on like the projections as of now, right, where they would stand. I think they're like the 3rd or 4th pick.
That's a great pick.
But I just don't want to be as offensively powerful as we have in this last month and just keep losing these games, man. It's just it's bad for the team to just keep losing these close games. So if they can win 3 more and still have a top 5 pick, that'd be great. Even if they're like 6, 7, or 8, I still think that's a win for the draft. But if they could win 3 more games, that'd be great. They're not making the playoffs. I don't think they're going to have a winning record. It's really all about next year, the money that we have, and the draft. So yeah.
Well, they're not eliminated, but if they don't win on Sunday,
yep,
they
true.
are. I mean, probably not like
mathematically.
Yeah, but dude, 7-9 isn't going to get you into the playoffs. So.
No, absolutely not in the NFC either. Like there's too many good teams. There's too many better teams than that. Not good teams, better teams. They're going to be better than that.
You do have the Giants getting in.
No. You said you had the Giants out, and I agreed with you. I was like, I had the Giants out. So number 5, I had Cowboys. Number 6, I had Seahawks, and then number 7, I had the Commanders sneaking in past the Giants.
So the Commanders play the Giants next week, which will be a really important game. Then they got the Eagles, and then Commanders again.
Oh,
yeah, and then Vikings.
That's going to be a very good. Oh man, these next stretch of games for them is going to be super.
And then the
crazy.
Eagles, then the Colts and the Eagles. So like,
it's insane.
The Giants could go
insane.
1-6 in these last 7 games or whatever it is.
Oof.
Let us know what you guys think, though. This is a good time to do it, where like it's not totally already painted for you. You can be a little, you can be an individual and see how close you get. I think my Packers and Broncos making the playoffs is it's a little too homer.
It's a homer pick, but I mean this season has been insane. You don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. God,
so
I can't get. Next time you come over, bring some nails.
It's fine. Just
why is it only yours? Why is it only happening to yours?
It's fine. It's at your place, but whatever. It's fine.
Dude, maybe that means something. Maybe like the football gods don't like the Bears, and that's why you haven't had a quarterback in 50 years.
That's if they play Fields against the Jets and he gets hurt. That's exactly why that flag is down.
Oh
that's exactly because it's like it's a bad omen. So, but we're gonna worry about it because they're not gonna play him. He's gonna sit. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this week 12 episode of Only Football. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, anywhere you listen to podcasts. Obviously, like us here on Facebook at Star 6 Media. Subscribe to us on YouTube and Twitch. And then, like I said, follow us at Star 6 Media, not only on Facebook, but on Instagram, on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, obviously Facebook, like I said. And also check out our other shows, EAFP, a lot of World Cup soccer talk with Eric right now. Only obviously you're watching Only Football. Sorry, I got a list right here of all of them. JCA Sports, tune in. Big League Chicago, Sports Strip Live, 3 Up, 3 Down, and our newest podcast, Slot Shot, for your NHL takes with Alex, Jack, and Ross. Kyle, good times. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody watching. Appreciate you guys tuning in too.
Yeah, for sure. And if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, you can find me at FTBL Only Podcast. It's up there at the top of the screen for all the retweets. And Rick's is up there too. And now Rick, follow us so we can keep on doing this. And I did want to say I'm thankful that we have this podcast now. This is a platform that we get to just talk about sports. It's what I've always wanted to do. And you guys, the listeners, by liking and subscribing, you make it possible. So we're thankful for you guys.
Very thankful for you guys watching, those who tuned in, who commented, who subscribe.
Like our boy in the UK
our boy in the UK. Yeah, I love JST Killer. Love him. But yeah, hopefully we'll get some live streams here soon. But other than that, follow us everywhere. And again, thankful for you guys. Thankful for Only Football. And all right, Kyle, I'll see you.
Man. See ya.